Let's go. Hey, look, we're back one more time, and it's time to unload, unpack, unlock, and unveil every attribute and ability that you possess for success. Hey, first of all, look, we have been discussing 28 power keys to success. We're talking about my book. I want you to cop this book. Link is in the description. But even if you don't, here's some valuable information, and we're going to jump right into it. Organization is the word that we're unloading today. Look, organization is a big word. It's a really big word. It has more than one definition, but like just from perspective, let's just kind of engage it, right? Let's engage it really quick. So when we talk about organization, there's a few things that come to mind, but two particular, right? One, we're talking about organizations as a business. We talk about LLCs, C corps, S corps, all that, and then we talk about organization as in structure, things in order, things that are organized, right? So the big thing here I want to talk about is, and I might lean on some other things as well, but the big thing here is the organization piece, the organized, the order piece, because I really believe that if we get this key, like if we get this key in place, it'll unlock a whole lot of things for us. Now, I got the book. I have a few things I'm going to talk about really quick, but let me just read the first paragraph for you out of this book, okay? It says organization is a big word, right? It's a big word. It includes routines. Think on that, right? It includes structure. Think on that. It includes management. Think on that. It includes order. Think on that. Look, it includes everything that you need to be successful. When you get things organized, it is like sharpening a blade. Cutting gets easy when the blade is sharp. Organization is the calibration to your scale. If you want your scale to be weighed properly, right? If you want to calibrate, organization is the piece you need. You can properly weigh out your options. You can determine what you need when you're organized. And then it says some things just need to be organized in your life and it will become productive. That's a big paragraph. It's a small statement, but it's a big paragraph. Organization is big. It's everything that you need to be successful. So let's talk about it really quick, because one thing I like to do before we unload, unpack, unlock, and unveil every attribute and ability for your success in these words, we like to talk about the definition. So this is the definition that I got a chance to pull up out of the Merriam-Webster dictionary. And I think I like to go to the Merriam-Webster dictionary. A lot of their definitions are very, very structural. They're fundamental. They have what is essential for these words to be functional in your life. And so I like to grab those words from there. And I really suggest that you grab that book because it has some definitions have 1, 2, 3, 4, and you got to pull out what's relevant to your situation and circumstance. Sometimes you can go back to the origins. We like to do the Latin words too, and go back to root words and all these other wonderful things. But it's right there. If you're utilizing the Merriam-Webster dictionary online, it'll have a lot of that information right there for you. So let's look at organization. Organization. This definition says it's the act of putting different parts of something in a specific order in which it can be found and used easily. I don't know. I mean, that might have add value to you just right off the rip, because this is my thing. When I talk about organization, when I talk about being able to be productive, when I talk about things that are structured in order, I think about inventories, right? I think about being able to assess and identify exactly what I have in my possession, and then be able to determine whether or not I need more of something, whether or not I can sustain, if I need to spend out resources, whatever the case may be. So when I'm organized, I can literally look at myself and determine what do I need to go forward, what do I need to pump the brakes on, and things in that magnitude. I just look at individuals' offices and how long it takes for individuals to find stuff because they are not organized. How long does it take individuals to find things? Have you ever went into a retail facility and these individuals so-called have a process, and in that process, like you order your product, They say order has been started. They pick up the product. They pick the product. They say your order is ready for pickup. You drive up there. You go to the space and you sit there for an hour waiting for them to bring your product. And then it doesn't show up. So you get out your car. You go up to the front desk. You're like, hey, my name is Isaiah. I just checked in about an hour ago. I got my wife and kids in the car. We're trying to get moving. Can I get my order? They like, oh, such and such is in the back looking for it. They're in the back looking for it. Well, I just got notification saying that it was picked. I got notification saying it was ready for me to come pick up. I come pick it up and I got to wait an hour, right? I got to wait an hour. Not that there's not enough people to do the work. It's that the process, the organization of the work, the operation, the system of what I'm trying to get my outcome from is not working. It's not working. It's not effective. And that's exactly what it is. Like, you can have all the resources, you can have all of the product, you can have all the services, you can have the people in place. But if it's not organized, if it's not organized effectively, then you'll find yourself in a situation where you're waiting and you're losing time. And time is a resource that you can't get back. You're losing money, things in that magnitude. There's a lot of exchanges that take place when we're not organized. So it talked about routines. Routines is a big factor in organization, right? So that's the factor that organize our lives, right? What time we wake up in the morning. If we're drinking coffee in the morning, is that the first thing we do? Are we brushing our teeth first? What time we take a bath? What time we lay down? All these different things. We're talking about work. We're talking about schedules. We're talking about all of our routines. And we have those things in place to keep us what? Productive. To keep us productive. And then on top of that, we look at structure. What is structure? Structure is something that is in place to keep things in order. It gives us the fundamental practices or need structures to be able to go reference whenever something gets out of way. And so if we don't have organization, we don't know where certain things are supposed to go when things go awry. When we try to put things back in place, we don't know where they go because things are not labeled properly. They're not appropriately in structure. They don't have everything outlined the way it need to be outlined. And this is really one of the reasons why I think organization is a big power key. It's a big word, is because it's loaded with so much. You think about organizations, not just organization as a order, but organizations, the groups, the entities, the institutions and things like that. When you think about organizations, there are so many different components that play for these organizations to function, for them to work. And look, all of it is written. You got SOPs, you got bylaws, you got all of that stuff constructed in a manner where people can go reference and get back in what? Order. Get back in order. So when I'm talking about organization for your life, organization for your productivity, your workspace, it's important to understand, man, there has to be an order. You got to put some things in order. It says right here that management is important. It's imperative that you have management. Like organization, maintaining things, that's organization. Like when something is out of place, you put it back in place. Sometimes you can go into places and things are everywhere. What is the maintenance process? What is the management process? How often are we going to manage this situation? How much time or attention are we going to give it? Right? I'm talking about, this is why this word is so big. And once we have this key in place, it will change our lives. I talk about, in one of my other books, I talk about going from time management to behavior management, and just obviously understanding that you got to manage your behaviors to have the times of your life. And so I got to organize myself internally in that capacity. I got to have the right values, and my values got to have the right objectives. And then there's got to be things that I put in place, these principles that I put in place that I practice to ensure that it uphold those values so I can operate and have the times of my life. This is organization is across the board. One of the keys that every one of us need. Every one of us need. Disorganized businesses, disorganized practices, all of those things cause frustration, friction, and a whole lot of mess. So whenever you have organization, things are clean. Things are like they move much more fluidly, and that's what we want to produce. And that's why we're talking about this power key today. We're talking about organization. And look, it says here in the definition, It talks about specific order. That means that there was some intent behind why we put something where it was. We're just not sporadically placing things in places. We're putting things in place intentionally. What was the intent? So so it can be found easily, and two, so it can be used easily. So I wouldn't put something that I need to use frequently in the back of my garage. Like, I wouldn't put it in the back of my storage. I wouldn't do that, because that means I'm gonna have to spend time going all the way out to my storage, to go all the way to the back of my storage unit to grab what I need on a frequent basis. That's crazy. It's outlandish. We should not operate in that capacity. And so it's important for us to look at this. Look at organization as a way to streamline your processes for you. Streamline your processes for you. Look, this word, it says that we live intricate lives, very intricate lives. You think about how your brain works and how many passwords that you have today. Like, you think about all the passwords that you have just coming into your home. I press a password to open the door. I press a password to get on the computer. Got a password on my phone. In my phone, I have apps, and all those apps have passwords. It's crazy. On my job, whatever I'm doing, I have passwords. We have passwords for everything. So to make it easier to utilize, we streamline that. We gotta create a system. We got to put something in order. And that's what I'm telling you. Organizations are systems. And if you understand systems, if you understand the order of an organization, you can get virtually whatever you need out of that organization that organization provides or offers. The issue is that we don't have structure. We don't have order. Now, the same thing goes for you. You can get whatever you need out of yourself if you have organization. You can produce on a high level if you organize your life. Organize your finances, organize your relationships, organize your time, organize your behaviors, organize it. That I'm talking about is the power key that will unlock so much in your life. And it's almost oblivious to some. Like, so think about the individuals who say, hey, listen, I'm organized, and they don't even have a budget. And let me give you a statistic really quick, because think about how many people are in the United States, right? We got over 300 million people in the United States, and 85% of those 300 million people don't have a budget. 85 to 90% don't have a budget. That leaves about 10% with a budget. You're talking about only 30 million people got a budget out of 300 million people. Come on, not 30. Is it 30? Like, whatever it is. Like, we're talking about I'm talking about fractions of the whole piece, not having what's needed to maintain a successful lifestyle, or even just the lifestyle that they're living, because a budget just says that I'm intentionally looking at how I'm spending my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm organizing myself to be able to understand where my money is going, how much money's coming in, how much money's coming out, and how I'm allocating those finances. Like, that's what I'm talking. It's very simple, y'all. Like, come on. And the tough part is that when you're talking about organization, it takes front end effort. And there's a lot of work that you got to put in, because you may come with a lot of pieces. There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle, and you got to have like a cubby hole. You got to know, okay, this is where I'm going to put this. This is where I'm going to put this. This is where I'm going to put this. But the refreshing part is, whenever you need those things, you can get to it quickly. It makes you much more efficient and effective and supportive and helpful. You can do all these things, and it leads you to a place of moving so much faster, so much faster. And I'm telling you, if you just tap in to unlocking your ability to organize. And I don't know, maybe you need a class. I'm not sure. I don't even know if there's even classes. There may be some classes to help people organize. I mean, I know that they have products that help people organize their files. I know they have products to help people organize their closets. There are things that are out there to help you. There are tools out there necessary for us to start taking advantage of if we want to see more efficiency, more effectiveness, more penetration in our business, see our dreams, our goals, and our aspirations coming to fruition, and see them bad boys face to face, right? We want to see them face to face. We don't want to have to keep on dreaming. Like, we don't want the bubble always up here in a distance away from us. We don't always want to have to keep looking up. We want it right here. We want to be able to touch it. It got to become tangible at some point. It can't just always be an idea. And that means that there's action that has to take place. Your actions are avenues for you to pull out what's up here and bring it out into this earth realm, to bring it right here in front of us into a place where it's tangible, where people can see it, where people can use it, where people can touch it, where there are exchanges made, right? And that's a big factor. So when I talk about unloading, unpacking, unlocking, and unveiling every attribute and ability that you possess for success, this power key is going to be one of the power keys that's going to allow you, whether it's in your family, in your community, whether it's leadership in a business or organization, whatever it is, it's going to allow you to execute at a higher level than any individual that you come across, simply because you have things in order. You have things in order. So I like to talk about this, because when I talk about power keys, I talk about information. And so organization, right? Organization always deals with information. Like, you got to put information, you got to put things in different places that's going to help things be useful and found in a very efficient manner. So one of the things I talk about when I talk about information, I talk about things that are in formation, meaning that they are in order, they are in structure. You talk about codes, you talk about keys, you talk about locks. Whenever you think about something that is in formation, like that always give you access to something else. And so whenever you have organization that brings order, it puts things into a formation, and that formation brings access to something else. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to give you access to new heights, like whether it's in your professional or personal lives. We want you to access organization. And look, this is something that's practical. You can literally sit down, you can take a piece of paper, write out all the things that you need to put in order. Start small so you can understand how to configure this thing out, right? And then start to build a system, okay? For if you need a bookshelf for your books, start there, right? And then put labels on what type of books, whether it's nonfiction, fiction, religious, all those texts, put those on the cap. Now you know where to go whenever you're looking for a type of book. And that's exactly how we conduct ourselves with other things. This book is the same way. Whenever I wrote this book, I had to have chapters. These chapters organized my book. And so now if somebody look at all these power keys, they're going to be like, okay, I already looked at this one. I want to go to this other one. They can go to the page number right here where it's referenced up here and find it. And it's a whole lot more efficient than swiping through 100 pages to get to where you want to go, right? So organization is key. It's valid across all fields, industries, and professions. And what we want to do is help you equip yourself with this type of power key. Look, this book, 28 Power Keys to Success, have been impacting lives across the world. I'm not just talking about right here in the United States. I'm talking about internationally, and I want you to get your copy. Look, the link is in the description. Look, keep on unloading, unpacking, unlocking, and unveiling every attribute and ability that you possess for success. And guess what? I'll see y'all at the top.